Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good night. I am so sorry that I kept pushing it back for anybody that was here when it was set for the first time. But I did want to push it back because allegedly with Brittany was on, and I just wanted to wait for her to be finished. So, everyone, thank you so much for waiting. I see that we have Crazy Crime Chick. Hello, hello. Liza, Muffin Top, Catherine. And also, can you put a one if you hear me and that I'm not just talking to myself like last time? Um, Jeffrey, Ryan, that's not my name. I like that name, by the way. Let's see. Susie, Markel Jim, thank you. Mallory, Eli, Jamie, the Krista, PJ, Mama, Booberry, Susie, Destiny, A. Charles. A. Charles, you have a lot of good information. If you ever want to come up, I always would love to hear your input because I know that you're a local to Moscow. Laura, nice to see you. Brandy, Candice, good to see you always. Amanda, Megan L, Anne, Tam, I am nice to see you as well. And I think that, and Valerie, Valera, and Carly, of course, time traveler. I think that's everyone. So good to see all of you. I'm going to put the StreamYard link in chat if there's anyone that would possibly like to come up. Liza, I know I've been speaking with you about this. So I know you wanted to come and talk about some of the 360 that I'm going to show of the house. And I know you've sent some pictures, so thank you for that. I don't know if you wanted to come up, Liza, or anybody else. And also, I saw that you guys in Brittany's were seeing some of the interview with the neighbor. Did you get to finish seeing all of that interview? Thank you, Eli. I don't know. I never know where I am. Red Eye. Hi, Red Eye, by the way. I can't speak, by the way. Yes, he definitely is. Hi, Brittany.
Hey, hey, hey.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm glad that you're going live.
I'm happy you're on here with me. It feels so weird just talking to myself. Like, I know I'm not because there's everyone in chat, but I still feel like I'm talking to myself. Like, doesn't it feel like that to you if you don't have anyone else on panel?
There's a reason I do it with other people on panel because it makes the live go easier and um I don't like dead air. That dead air freaks me out. I want people talking constantly. So,
Right? Hi, Liza.
hey, Liza.
Hello, I hope you guys can hear me. My mic is not here yet.
No, you sound really good.
Oh, okay. Great. Hi, Brittany. I hope you get better and your kids too. I was worried about you.
Oh, thank you, Liza. Thank you all, everybody, for being so sweet and kind about everything. I kind of feel bad about like I feel like my lives have been awful lately. So I don't know. I'll be glad when we can get back into the swing of things and be back to myself. And hey,
Well,
crazy crime chick.
you have been doing it great because having sick kids and being sick and doing live, oh no. I will never. Uh-uh. I my respects.
Yeah, it's not the way I don't know. It's not the way that I if I feel like I didn't do a good one, I just feel bad about it.
Uh,
So,
and you know, I go, oh, if I think I did terrible. You know, my whole night and next day, my week, everything is ruined. You and Crazy Crime Chick know that very well.
He's not lying.
No, not at all. So, how much did you get to see, or did you play all of the interview with the neighbor?
Um,
No, I think
no, Crazy Chick asked, can you go over that video that she sent you?
Okay, yes. So thank you, Crazy Crime Chick, for sending that. I can I have I have a few things that I wanted to go over. So here's some of the stuff. I can read that to you. So it's the 360 view of going through the house, so we can kind of see the steps that we think that the killer may have taken. Police update. One is a written update, and one is an interview. Also, what the neighbor said, and also an interview with the family lawyer of the Steve Goncalves, or the Kaylee's family's lawyer. So those are the different things. I'm thinking what we'll get started with.
And I did not go through all of that video with the neighbor. I think
Okay.
I think I played about 20 minutes, y'all.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. So I know you. I'm trying to think where I'll start with it. I'll do first. Have you seen Kaylee's family's lawyer interview yet?
No.
I haven't.
Okay, what about in chat? Have you guys seen that? And hi, Crash and Burn. Hi, Jesse Crib. Hi, Delana. So let me get that. You guys can chat among yourself while I get that real quick.
Brit, what do you really think about the neighbor?
Enon?
Yeah.
So with Enon, I feel like I just can't. He's gonna get me in trouble
Okay,
because
I can
every
get
time
in
I
trouble.
watch him, I laugh at him. I can't help it.
Just
Like, flow,
just
yo. Like, what is this? He said, I come in and meditated after doing a sick flow. Like, what is that? I'm sorry, I can't.
I
But he does. I do have a bunch of red flags around him, and there's a bunch of.
well,
I have some red flags.
just imagine the guy as your neighbor.
Yeah.
Will you deliver cookies to his house?
Can
I
you say that
wouldn't.
again? I'm sorry.
Will you deliver cookies to his house for Christmas?
No, no, ma'am. No,
Me neither.
no.
Is that kind of person that you try to avoid?
He is definitely. And then did you notice, um, Liza, as he was talking about the girls, he said, um, I almost crashed a few of their parties quite a few times, but I decided not to. And
No.
then he talked about the layout of their house and the way that the yard is like a meteor, and that he imagines the sound just is would just vibrate within it, like around it, because it's like a meat. Just really weird. And then you never hear him say Maddie's name. He doesn't mention Maddie at all, but he
And
follows her.
exactly, that's what I was going to say. And I think she's the only one that he follows, but he said that he knew all of the other. He said he knew Kaylee, and he knew Santa, and he knew Ethan, and they were all like the best neighbors you could have. Yet he doesn't mention Maddie at all. And like he said, he
Exactly.
followed her and he didn't follow them.
Right. And he goes out of it's almost like, what is that where they try to isolate themselves or separate themselves
Yeah, to create
from the
distance
individual?
from the
Yeah.
person.
That's how, yeah. I mean,
So,
and like I said, I'm not trying to make anybody guilty, but there are some serious weird things going on there.
Yes. Yesterday I thought that he was just trying to make money. But after this interview, I was like, dude, you really want the FBI in your house? Because the red flags are going up, 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 and up. It's strange.
And one thing I get, maybe I'll play that first, but the interview that I was going to play with the family lawyer is only, let me see how long it is. It is 14 minutes. But I was wondering, in the food truck, do you remember there's a guy that wears like a poncho?
Yes.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the neighbor. Is it him or no?
Oh my God, I haven't even thought about that.
I don't remember.
You do know who I'm talking about, though, right? Does anyone in chat know who I'm talking about?
Poncho guys, he's always stuck out to me because
Yeah. I
that
remember
weird
Poncho guy, but I didn't remember his face.
Yeah.
Oh, we can go see that if you want to later.
Okay, all right. I'll play this real quick. They're both actually kind of long. Since we're talking about the neighbor, I don't know if you want me to go with that first. What do you think?
Whatever you want to do, I'm here for the ride. You do what you feel best.
All right, I guess then we'll start with the neighbor first. I'm just trying to think if I should start, since you guys already saw about 20 minutes of it in the middle. But has everybody in chat, can you put a 1 if you've seen the neighbor's interview already, and a 2 if you haven't?
I kind of feel like at the very least you do need to go back, because some of the stuff that we heard him say you probably want to hear. So just start like 10 minutes in.
Okay.
Because the first little bit is like it starts out slow, but like, yeah, because we played it, but it never hurts to hear it again.
So people in chat, do remember the Poncho Man? That's his name. We have names for everybody. But so the Poncho Man, people do remember. Does anyone in chat think that might be the neighbor?
I could definitely see him rocking a poncho like that.
Oh, me too, for sure.
I just cannot remember his face. He has one of those faces that I will never remember.
Also, because you're so focused on the poncho.
Maybe, but even with that, when I was looking at him, look at him. And what happened with his long hair?
Did he have long hair?
Was not in your channel that we saw yesterday long hair in the Instagram videos? This is not the guy in the Instagram?
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll have to look back again. But here, let me get to it so then we can get.
It very well could be, and I'm just, it's like I'm starting completely over or something.
I think that Mallory found him on his Instagram, or somebody or criminality. I'm not sure who.
Okay. Now the long-haired guy in the food truck video, he's the one that's with the girl in the white that she's trying to pick him up, and they're playing around the whole time.
No, I'm talking about a long-haired guy that was playing with those.
Tab. Go to your stop your screen share.
Okay. I know where it says share entire screen. Sorry, you guys. I need to really do this. Like, I know where it says, okay, share screen.
All right, now it gives you the option to share tab.
It says entire screen, window, or Microsoft. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I got
that
it
way
now.
you don't have to share your whole computer.
Sorry
That's
about
always
that.
use my
Thank,
share to my tab.
thank you, everyone. Okay. All right. So I'll go to the interview. Yeah, I kept doing it the other way, and I knew it was wrong, but I wasn't being able to figure out how the right
Well,
way
it's
was.
easier that way, and then you don't have to worry about anything popping up or.
Okay, you can see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so let me get to I'll get to the 11. I'll just do 11. I'm trying to do 11:11 for good luck, but it's not happening. Oh well, we'll do 11:10.
It's kind of like horrifying
Press
because it
1
makes you
if you
think
can
that it
hear
can
it.
happen to anyone, like not just like people who are doing some shit, you know what I mean? Like just like normal people every day. I think that's the really like spooky, scary part right now to some people.
Yeah. What's your thought about the luxury SUV now, looking back? You probably didn't think too much of it then. Any ideas?
No, not really. It's pretty decked out. How like rims and windows. It just looked like a cool car, and that's why I noticed it. But I didn't I just assumed it was like one of the people's parents. Like a lot of the students here have really rich parents, and they have nice cars. So that's just kind of what it seemed like to me. Um, and I don't know. I saw I think it was a kind of like a deserty. It was either like Arizona. It might even been Colorado, but I think or like Montana, and I saw one of those cars parked up on the hill of our lot a lot. I'm wondering if it was a white Elantra. I'm thinking back and I can't remember. I don't want to say it was or not, but that was the only other car I noticed that didn't seem like someone that lives there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not that observant, but I'm pretty. I'd say more observant than most people, I guess.
Yeah. Liz is asking, did you know that your coworkers knew them before or after the
No.
murder?
No, one of the next day I went to work, I had one of the dudes talk down and talk to me and just ask me how I was doing and talk and was telling me how knew some of the people or something and I was like, well, that's crazy. But I mean that's Coeur d'Alene's pretty local, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's not that far off.
Right. And that's where you work then, is Coeur d'Alene. Is that?
No,
did
I
you
work
say?
in Moscow. No, I work in
Oh,
Poland,
you
sorry.
went to high school with them in Coeur d'Alene and you work in Moscow. That makes
No,
more
I
sense.
didn't go to high school with them. One of my coworkers did.
Okay.
I went to school in Pullman.
Okay. All right. Sleuth Mom, it's good to see you. I want to let people know that for those missing, Sleuth Mom does a wonderful job covering important cases. Thanks for being here with us, Sleuth Mom. There's some audio. I wanted to ask you this because you've come forward and said you may or may not have heard a scream. You're thinking about it now, wondering if it was a party sound you heard, or if it was an actual, scream you heard. There has been so much speculation going on, online and social media. I know you know that. You've been a part of that. We'll talk about that later. But there's been some audio making rounds of a scream. And I was just wondering if you could confirm that that was nothing you provided to any media anywhere, because a lot of people are trying to make connections there.
I didn't hear about it till basically people were telling me and things like this, and I was like, oh, LOL. Yeah, no, complete hoax. Yeah,
Okay.
I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
How many views has it got?
It's on multiple channels, so I couldn't even tell you how many views the scream
wow.
has received because there's so many different outlets.
I think that's a weird question that he asked, don't you think? That he wants to know how many views that it got?
Yeah, well, it just goes to show you where his mind's at.
Yeah, I just thought that was strange that he's wanting to know, well, how many people heard it? I don't know. I just thought that part was a little bit strange.
Well, and I mean well, yeah, I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind.
Well,
it is very weird.
What if he knows, but he just wants her to say it?
I could see that. I
You
definitely could see that.
you know that kind of guys that come with the cool car, the new car, and they don't say anything because they are waiting for the woman to say, "Oh my God, what a nice car."
Hmm.
That's what I felt when he said that. I was like, ah, Jack. Sorry.
Susie Dupree, I would love to hear what your theories are, one of your many theories.
I'm sorry, Susie. I tried to read it while I was on the live, Susie, and it threw me off. Hang on a minute, and I'll go look. I love you to death,
Not
but y'all, it's hard for me to see my emails when I'm on the live. It's really hard. Hang on.
official outlets, but
Yeah, I
YouTubers.
didn't record anything. I don't see how I would record something after I hear something unless I was already recording, which I wasn't. So
Yeah. You've mentioned that you're an artist and that you're a chef. Do you ever stay up late doing your craft, working on things? Do you ever hear what's going on around the neighborhood ever? If you're up
yeah,
late?
I mean, I don't know. No, I guess not. I mean, I usually listen to something, so I mean, I'm usually like zoned in on whatever I'm doing. But I guess it's kind of like on like the parties night. Like the like I don't know. The parties are kind of just like noise to me. So like I hear that, and like every once in a while, like I'll hear like somebody return home really late in the night. But I mean, it's like semi-normal, like 3, 4 a.m. Like that's not that late. People go over to people's houses and they hang out for a long time, and then they come home on the weekends. Like that's just like college life, I feel like. And like sometimes I'll just like listen to some music in my bedroom to like kind of like tune out like anybody who's like super super late or loud. Um, and then sometimes like you'll hear just like people walking down, like I don't know, sometimes yelling, but not like it doesn't happen like I don't know, it's not super super loud, but it's like it's campus, it's noisy, but I mean it's like you can hear what's going on, I guess, sort of like was close vicinity, but yeah, it's usually just noise. Like there's nothing like you want to listen to. I guess it's kind of weird. I guess like you can kind of like our walls are really thin, so like certain places you can hear like certain areas outside or inside, whatever. But I don't know. The place I think you can hear in that neighbor's house, I guess, is like in the house is like the yard. I feel like the yard is the place where you can hear the most things. Like so, if you were gonna hear something that happened at a house, it'd probably be the yard. Like I feel like the sounds inside, I'm guessing, wouldn't carry as much. Just because like again, I think that yard is sort of like almost an amphitheater set up a little bit. It's like it's got the hill and it's like down a little bit, and then above it is like the parking lot and another hill. So it's like I don't know, it's kind of
It seems like he knows the layout very well, don't you think?
Yes, that was one of the things that I picked up on immediately. But Susie, okay, I just read your email because I'm not running the panel now, so it was easier. Susie's theory is basically that you know how we've been having well, not us, but in Moscow, there's been those different instances of unalivings that's happened with multiple students at Idaho.
Yeah. You're talking about
What
the
if,
drowning and also the person that supposedly unalived themselves.
yeah, she's like, what she's saying, what if some of those, and then like was what happened with the girls and Ethan, what if that was all murders and it had something to do with Greek Row or the sororities and fraternities? They're not going to speak up and say anything because they know that the schools will lose funding, or if it got out that one of the fraternities were behind it or anything like that, it's going to be bad publicity on the school. Anything's possible. I could see that. I do think it's weird that there's a lot of deaths surrounding that school. I will say that.
I agree, definitely. And it's something that they're trying to sweep under the rug, which I had brought up before, that they definitely don't want any. Obviously, this was something that was so big that they could never hide. But the other deaths, they did try to sweep under the rug. And I wonder if there's other deaths that we don't know about.
Exactly. That maybe weren't even reported. You never know. I
Yeah.
could,
Or,
but
or
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it could have maybe happened. Like, I don't think this was a hazing accident incident, but the other ones could have possibly been hazing incidents.
What, Mallory, did you want me to say that out loud, what you just sent me?
Oh no, what is it? Or I want to know.
Oh my God.
Is it
What?
breaking news?
She said, okay, nothing. I can't say right now, but I think not yet. In regards to him knowing like their yard so well, that's to me is even though he lives in the apartment across the street from them, he shouldn't be that familiar with their yard. Like he described the parking lot that goes behind it, the embankment going down into the backyard, all of it. That sounds like somebody that scoped the place out, doesn't it?
That's what it seems like to me. That's what I was saying. He really seems like he was very familiar with that property. And didn't he say that he's never actually stepped foot in? Did he say? I think he like contradicted himself that he said that he had brought them wine, and I thought he also said he had been to their parties, but then he also said he hadn't ever been in the house. I don't know if you watched, I don't know if you heard that part yet, but it seemed like he did contradict himself in two parts because he made it clear, I thought, if I heard everything right, that he had never stepped foot in there. But in another part, he had said they had good parties and he had been in there, but I'm not sure. Let's, I guess, finish listening to all of it.
Previously, not in this interview, in another one, I don't remember if I read it or where it was. He said he had been in the house, inside the house. Now he said just outside.
Yeah, so he's definitely retracting statements that he had already said.
Yeah, he's flip-flopping a lot.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that this is someone that should be looked into more?
If he, I cannot. It has to be too easy. It cannot be him. It's just too
Mm.
easy. I mean, it's so many flags on this guy. It's too easy.
Well, why is this guy so obsessed with college and college students and the Greek life and living in that scene and in that area? That's
Because
odd to me, too. He's 30 years old. Like most people would be turned off by living in that kind of society. They're like, "Oh, hell no. I'm not going to move to a neighborhood where there's a bunch of college kids up all hours of the night keeping me half awake." It's like he aspires to be a part of that lifestyle.
yes, I think that by being older, when you are around those 21, 22, you have more status than they have. And his peers on the 30s don't give him the time of day. That's the only way I can explain it. Because by the time I was 30 something, oh my god, dealing with 22 and 23-year-old kids was a little bit difficult.
Yeah, and then oh my God, like I said, he in was it? I think it was in the Reddit post that he had made. Y'all, it was so long that I stopped reading it. I was just like, you know what? I'll be sitting here on my live stream for like 2 more hours if I keep reading all of this. you just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. No doubt is he upset. Like he's arrogant and he thinks that his words are gifts to the world or something. But he mentions that he went by there and gave them, Kaylee and Maddie and all of them, some wine. And Mallory made a good point earlier when she said, he mentioned going in their house. Was that his way of placing himself at the scene in case that his DNA's picked up?
That is
That's
an interesting thought that I never had thought of.
yeah, it's
Because
in the
I
Reddit
know,
post.
yeah, I mean, I know in the Kylie Rodney case, we always thought when Sammy was saying how she was in the car, and she drank from the same cup, we were thinking, oh, well, maybe she was placing herself in the car in case anything comes up. And like with her DNA, and that's why she was saying they were sharing this same cup and stuff like that. But that makes sense of him saying about being in the house. But in this interview, he also says he never stepped foot in there. So that's why it's weird that he contradicts himself.
A lot. Yeah.
I think whoever did it definitely did watch them. I don't know how long, but I feel that they were being watched. So that is very scary because the way that their house was laid out, you could definitely watch from a lot of different areas.
I think he I think he's a creeper that watched them a lot. Whether he did it or he didn't, he he saw them enough to where they stuck out to him. To say that he has almost went over and crashed multiple of their parties. Um, he said everybody would want to be a neighbor to Kaylee's. Like, what does that even mean? It's mm.
And I'm trying right now on my phone to see for the food truck video if he looks like the poncho guy, because I swear that that's him, but maybe it's not. But I'm trying to look for that on my phone while we're watching. So I'll hit play and continue looking.
Well, and let's not forget that he lied about when he made the Facebook post right after the murders. He said his post said no scream, no trace, and something else. And he went back and he deleted or he edited the post and he took out the no scream part. And then he started saying he heard a scream that night.
Yeah, I
So
was gonna. He made. I actually. I didn't know if you guys wanted to see it, but everyone probably already has. Where he put a post that said 4 killed in stabbing across the street, no screams, no evidence, no trace. So like professional killers? Question mark. But why on 3 sorority girls doesn't make sense. So he wrote that as well in a post, even though he says he heard a scream and another thing.
yeah, no, I didn't get to share that, so you could share that.
Okay,
But
I'll share that as well.
yeah, that was what one of my oh my god, I'm drawing up. Mindy was saying tonight, like anybody that interviews him, ask him that question. That's the question. Why did you edit that post and take out the no scream part? And now you're saying that you heard a scream. Like, which one is it?
I don't know. He's got like flip-flopping. So here, I'll finish playing it so people, since they're waiting. Oh, wait, sorry. We're gonna go to that one next. And I paused that at a bad spot.
Oh, and yes, TJ, it was a half used bottle of wine. He said he took them a bottle of wine that he had used for cooking and that he knew he would never drink it, so he took it to the girls for them to have, which I thought was really weird. Like, why would you ever give someone a half used bottle of wine? But that was what he claimed that he took to them and he gave them to have.
That is so strange. I wouldn't even do that with friends or family.
Doesn't that sound like an excuse? Just like you need a quick excuse to go over there. So you grab your cooking wine off the stove and be like, well, I could just say that I was going to let them have this. It just doesn't. I mean, if you want to give your neighbors a gift, you would at least, take them a pie or something that's new, a brand new bottle of wine.
I don't know. It's a very weird story. And maybe he was doing that hoping they would be like, oh, do you want to come inside and have a drink with us? But still, you would think he would bring not an open bottle, right?
I would
He,
think. I don't know.
yeah, he's yeah.
Here, though, I'll finish playing this.
Kind of like a meteor like hole in a sense, and so like I think probably like like in the middle the sound probably resonates around.
That makes sense. And you can call me Patches is also saying college towns are just noise sometimes. It's hard to tell what's what. A request for clarification. Back to the SUV one more time that you saw. Can you
I don't
clarify?
think
There's
so.
some confusion in chat. Okay, so you're saying you don't.
I don't
think
know
the
though.
SUV he
I
saw
don't.
was
She
Kaylee's
drove a
car.
Ford. I don't know. Ford's not that luxury to me. I don't think I would have noticed that. I mean, it's a nice car, but I don't think it wouldn't stand out to me. I don't know. It just stood out to me because like I drive kind of a sketchy car, and it's kind of decked out, and it's like I don't know. I noticed like I've always been into like cars with like rims and tinted windows and stuff like that, and this was like one of those cars I'd be like, man, probably if I was younger and rich, I probably would have bought it. So I think that's why it stood out to me. But like, yeah, it just
Okay.
it kind of seemed like either a baller or like somebody's rich parents. That's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the speculation? Do you talk to neighbors? What are people saying about this? It's
No,
been
I'm
4
I'm
weeks
a
and
hermit.
no
I'm super
police.
hermit. I don't
Okay.
really talk to anyone. I talk to a few of my really old friends. I talk to I hang out with my coworkers sometimes. Um, and most of the time I'm super busy in my crafts. Like I don't know. And I have like I don't know. There's like a girl I hang out with, and that's about it.
Okay. Okay. Um, does it make you nervous at all that this is unsolved? Do you feel
A
nervous?
little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Just I mean, it's pretty brutal and like I don't know, thought out killing, I guess. Like it's like kind of scary, and it also kind of scary that it just happened to some ordinary people. So I think everyone's a little bit spooked now. You know what I mean? Like I guess in the city, the shit's like semi-normal or whatever, but like not here. Like I don't know. So I don't know. It's kind of scary that this would happen ever, like especially in this town. So
Yeah.
and it's like it's like you think about it, it's like what kind of protection can you get these cases? Like you can lock your windows, you can like put strips and stuff, you can get a gun, but like this dude like went in the house and killed them before they could really react. They grab a gun or whatever and left, and not anybody knowing. Like that's scary. You know what I mean? So like thinking about people doing that out, especially like on your block, is pretty spooky.
Yeah. That absolutely it is. It's and thank you. Hello from England. We are so sorry to hear such a horrific crime, they said. Thank you so much. Um, have you talked to law enforcement since that first day they came over and asked you if you'd heard anything or where you
Uh,
were
yeah, I did once.
once? Did they
Yeah.
come over to the neighborhood again to talk to everyone, or did you go talk to them about
No, I
what you
wouldn't.
heard?
I just talked to them later.
Okay. Um, anything else you want to tell us about that, or is that a
No,
off
not
the
really.
record? Okay.
That's off the record, chef.
Thank you. And by the way, this is a channel where I will ask a lot of questions, but I also respect my guests. For those wondering if something's off the record or you don't ever want to answer, that's all you need to say and we move on. So thank you. You posted on your Facebook. I'm going here, by the way, to my phone to look at questions that I have written for you. And I'm also getting questions over in chat. While I look, you have mentioned on your own social media pages and even posted some of the proof that you've been getting harassed yourself and feeling the wrath of true crime sleuth and speculation. Can you tell us a little bit about that or what you've been going through?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of, it's almost hilarious to me that people think I did it, and they're like telling me like, "Yo, you did it," and it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like the equivalent to like flat Earth theory to me when I like read some of these like Reddit conspiracies and shit. I don't know. I've been mostly ignoring it, but sometimes I read it and it gets to me, but I don't know. It's the other time it's just like it's almost entertaining to me, but it's a little bit scary too. I'm like, what are these people trying to get me? But it's whatever.
Yeah. Cheshire Cat is saying, are there cameras in the area? Do you think anyone might have been able to catch anything that happened?
I
What are your
doubt
thoughts?
very many. No, there's not a lot of thefts or break-ins or murders or really anything that happens here. A lot of people leave their doors unlocked, windows unlocked. It's generally pretty safe. Our apartment complex didn't even really have lights in like the hallway or cameras until like right after. Then they put up like some motion sensors and stuff. But like there's like for the most part this neighborhood's like pretty dark, and I don't know, I kind of liked it. You know what I mean? It's like at night, like there's no lights, and you kind of go to sleep really easily. But yeah, I don't think very many people have cameras because they don't.
So he said that night it was really dark. There were no lights. So it seems like he remembers that night in particular. Did you catch that?
Yeah, also how he said he liked it.
Yeah. I was listening to that too. What did you think about that? I thought that was a little bit strange.
Well, and here's my thing. How do you know there's no cameras?
Yeah,
How
again,
couldn't you guess how many cameras is on my road or close? Can
yeah.
anybody? Do
And
you know
back
how many cameras are around your house? I
The
don't.
only person that seems to know where cameras are located is Sammy Smith. And then back to the
Yeah.
Kylie Rodney case, because remember, she was like, there's no cameras anywhere, or they're only located here and here. So it's weird that when people we think might be suspicious in cases know where and where there aren't cameras.
Yeah, and I noticed Crazy Crime Chick was saying like and like and like. Yeah. He says
you
like
think-
as much as Chris Watts.
Yeah, and Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger. We were talking about that earlier. So do you think he just does that out of habit, or that's a nervous habit, or what do you think?
No, at this point, I'm still side eyeing Sammy too, Delana.
I am too. Oh, that case, I can't let go of that case.
Me either, but it is what it is. Well, nobody can change your feelings. You know what I mean? Like they might can make a decision on the case, but it doesn't change how I feel. But yeah, I don't know why he says that so much. If it's a nervous tick or it's convenient is all I can say.
Oh, you think that he might be buying himself time to think of what he's gonna come up with to say?
I don't know. I do think it's probably just I don't know. I don't know what makes somebody say that all the time like that. Maybe it's just a nervous tick. I don't know.
All right, here, I'll finish. We should put up a tally count and see how many do you think it would be? Do you think it's been like over 50 or like over?
Oh, Liza, what do you think about him knowing that there's no cameras around that area? Am I just being like stuck on that too much, or
Every
that's
time
weird to me?
every time one of us says like, I'm gonna now really be paying attention to it.
I I do pay attention about those things.
Oh,
I
you do?
Yes, I
Okay.
always do, but it's a habit and I was taught to learn it. I don't know why he does that, but when it got in, he said that it was a very dark night. And I was talking maybe 2 weeks ago with a Navy SEAL, and he said, the Navy SEAL said to me, well, that was not a dark night. That night, the moon was in something I cannot pronounce in English, and I'm just looking now, and it says at that day the illumination of the moon was 77%. Then,
Wow.
because I was arguing with the Navy SEAL, I was telling him, well, he could have a flashlight, and he was like, if you're gonna kill somebody, Lisa, you need one hand to get them, and the other hand for the weapon. You cannot handle a flashlight. And I was like, well, okay, those flashlights that people use and put on their heads. No, it's when if you have to hide from somebody, what do you do? It's not a mine. You're going there to commit a crime. Look at
Yeah.
he said, look at the moon that was enough moon to move around and get your eyes used to the darkness. And I was like, okay, maybe. And now this guy is saying that it was too dark. It was too
Mm.
dark, or it
And that
was
he
not.
liked it though. He liked the darkness of that night.
Yeah, and the other thing that he said that he's a hermit. Well, I'm kind of a
Mhm.
hermit myself, and my neighbors love to party, and I will never go with a just an unopened bottle of wine uninvited to go, oh, here, Lisa the hermit
Right.
is coming over. Never.
I was thinking about that. You're a hermit, but you've often thought about crashing their parties.
Yeah, that's
You
not.
go over and give them a half-open bottle of wine.
Yeah, those kind of don't seem like they go together.
No. And NorCal Jim said for every like he says, you should give Valerie a thumbs up.
Thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you, NorCal Jim.
He's an odd character, I'll say that. He's definitely odd.
Don't really feel unsafe in this neighborhood or whatever. Most people know people too, so it's like whatever. Yeah, it's not a really sketchy neighborhood, like just a bunch of college kids. Yeah,
Right.
apparently some of them has had like Dorset neighbors. I know, like, just in the 21st century, a lot of people have like security cameras, so there's like probably some stuff around. But it's like me, like I bought a cam for my car just, in case whatever. But it's like it's been like like a year and I still haven't put it in my car. So like,
Oh wow.
like
Yeah.
that's how safe it's like I just like never really felt the need to like actually put it up. But now I'm like, I should definitely put that shit up. I wish I had it up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Would people sleep with their doors open in this town? Is that kind of the protocol?
I don't
Or?
know about that far, but I'm not gonna say it's never happened. I accidentally walked into somebody's house because the door was open, and I was trying to go to a friend's house when I was like 17. And I like opened it up, and it was just like some dude on the couch. I was like, oops. Uh, Shut the
Yeah.
door back to halfway. I was like, oops. Went to the next house. It's like, oh, cool. This is the right one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Conflicted angel. A lot of people are just asking for confirmation, which I actually really value. As a journalist, I was a television reporter for 10 years. It's really good to hear and see things and then to ask for more confirmation always. So they're asking, is this actually you commenting
Yes.
on Reddit doing the AMA? They want to know
Yes.
that. Yes, this is him. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. Thank you, Sleuth Mom, for reminding people that this is very true. I'm trying to read everything in chat, and some moderators are helping a bit, but I am missing some things. You can send and post something in a super chat or leave something in comment, but I don't know if we'll have the same guest again. So I'll do my best, though, to get to your questions. And thank you again for being here. A lot of thank yous are coming through for you being here and coming forward. What have you heard anything about the alcohol offense at 3 a.m.? Do you know about that? It was behind the Sigma Chi house, and we have body cam footage from that. Do you know anything about that, or heard of that?
I haven't. It's the first I've heard of it. I don't really pay attention to the media or news really at all. I'm a stick juggler. I kind of in my own world most of the time. But yeah, no. I don't. I'm super hermit. I kind of I live like one of the most introverted lives you can imagine. But no, I'm curious though. Tell me about it.
Well, it was, and I already have one correction. Thank you to everyone in chat helping me with these little details. It was on the band field. It was about 3 a.m. There's body cam footage now that has come out from it. It was the morning of the murders. So people are, zeroing in on different things they're seeing in the body cam footage that was released, taken on the band field at 3 a.m. And I know that you sometimes hear things, not always. You say you were asleep all night. What time did you go to bed that night, by the way?
I don't know. I'm probably around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really look at the time after I get home, so it's all just like an estimate. But that's probably the range based off of the activities that I was doing.
Yeah. One more confirmation having to do with SUVs, but now this is about Kaylee's can you confirm if there was a black Explorer that was parked there daily? It was parked behind a red Jeep inside the crime scene tape. Everybody was sort of.
I don't think it was that one. No, I'm gonna review the footage again, but I don't think it was that one.
Okay. Did you see a black Explorer that was parked there daily with crime scene tape around? Or did you notice the vehicles that were inside the crime scene tape?
So. I think I noticed a lot of like dark SUVs, and I just kind of assumed they were like FBI or police or something. But this was like this. I'm pretty sure this other car was different, and it had out of state plates. That's one of the things I noticed about it. I think this one didn't have out of state. The Ford Explorer, or whatever. I don't think that had out of state plates. I could be wrong, but this one definitely had. It was like I almost want to say it was Utah, honestly, but. It was like barrenish. It was night. It was hard to see, but it was like barren plates, like deserty. It's like Arizona or Utah, Colorado, Montana. It's like mountainy, maybe. I think it might have been mountainy, but yeah. So I only saw two cars that had out of state plates. So
okay.
What do you think about him saying about the two out of state plates? Because the police have yet to mention that. I know they've been saying about the white car, but I haven't heard them say anything about the car that he's talking about right now.
So I'm so confused by that.
And what Jamie, Texas chick said, desert or mountains, very different. Because he said the plates were from either the desert or the mountains. So,
where is he getting that from?
I have no idea. And
like honestly,
now
I'm
he said Utah, Arizona, Montana plates on a dark SUV, but they have not said they're looking for a dark SUV. So is he trying to again, I'm not trying to say he's guilty in any way at all, but I'm just wondering why he's trying to point it in this direction.
And Something's not right.
A lot of things are not right.
Yeah, Delana, I'm saying it wrong, I think. Delana is how I've always been used to saying it, but it's Delana, right? Delana, tell me if that's right. If put a 1 if it's Delana, because I think it's Delana. So she said, "Do you really think he would be doing this interview right now if he was guilty of killing 4 people? I do not think so, but that's just my opinion. In my opinion, he would be staying out of the spotlight." So I do think that killers, I don't even know if we can say that word on here, probably not. I do think people that unalive people do interviews because they want that celebrity status. They do try to insert themselves in the investigation, but I'm not really so sure that he's involved. He might be just trying to get his 15 minutes of fame and just be weird at the same time. But it is interesting to just see the different interviews people are doing, and point out what are odd about them. What do you both think, and what does chat think about him?
I see him. I see him as like a guy that will have rejection problems. He seems like he has a very mechanical life. The way that he explain his life, he's going to work, he does his art, he cooks, has a girlfriend, end of story. Uh, but at the same time, he knows everything that is going on with the neighbors downstairs, and that their house is like an amphitheater. Uh,
That part I was interested in too, how he said it's like an amphitheater. So if that's the case, it seems like you would hear everything going on in the neighborhood.
or that he considered them like actors in in a drama that he saw every night unfold. Because what you go amphitheaters are for that, to what, to go and watch plays. What if he just watched them?
Yeah,
I mean,
he may be a voyeur, but he might not have. I don't think he did it, but he may have been just a creep, possibly. I think they had a lot of creeps in that neighborhood around them, unfortunately. But I don't know if I would say I think that he did it or not. But it is worth looking at the interview, I think.
yeah, it's to me, it opens my eyes to people that I don't think that exist. I His type of personality, it's something that I will read in a book, and he's right in front of me. I cannot believe it.
The way I see it is like he gives me enough red flags to where I say it wouldn't hurt for law enforcement to take a look at him. But I'm not convinced that he did this. So you, yeah, I mean that's the way he gives enough red flags where I think it'd be worth looking at him. Law enforcement should at least look at him, but I'm not so convinced that he's guilty of this.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, but Chad is like 50-50. Some people say he's harmless and he just want attention, and other people is like red flags, red flags.
Okay, well, we'll try to get through the rest quickly.
Okay.
Julie is asking, genuinely curious. She's not being confrontational, and I can confirm
no, you're
that
good.
because Julie is a very curious person. She's
Vaulted
curious.
ceilings.
Why would
Vaulted
an introvert
ceilings.
move to a party town? Go ahead. Sorry.
This is the only place I could afford with vaulted ceilings. So I could juggle at home. I need like at least like 10, 11 12, 13 foot clearance. So it's hard to find. The apartments like that are hard to find anywhere. So you're the and like the ones with vaulted ceilings are usually like luxury places. So you have to pay like a premium for them.
Okay.
So this was cool. I was living in Pullman, so I was like paying a lot, and I had because of my felonies, I couldn't really move anywhere for 7 years. So after 7 years, I instantly moved into the first place available with vaulted ceilings. And this is where I ended up.
Gotcha. I will
And
admit I've been admiring the ceilings in the background. They're beautiful. Those wood ceilings.
yeah, pretty dope place.
Yeah. Miss Wales asked, did the dog bark lots or did you know? And I think they're referring to
I did
Murphy.
not know the dog.
Okay.
No, I never met the dog. I didn't know there was a dog until pretty recently, actually. Someone asked me why the dog was spared, and that's the first time I heard about the dog.
Okay. Okay. And did you hear any dogs barking ever? Were dogs typically barking in the
No.
neighborhood or nothing?
No, not really. Not usually. It's usually decently quiet at night, I feel like. Sometimes I don't know. I usually don't hear a lot of animals, honestly. I feel like if, my cat will maybe make a dog bark every once in a while, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, our deal here is this is like, consider this like Reddit AMA. You can answer any questions here you want, and you don't have to answer any questions you want. But Jamie is asking, he says, where did it go? Someone is asking, this was not it, but somebody was asking if you wanted to go further. They mentioned you had a felony, and you talked a little bit about this on Reddit AMA. Do you want to go into that now, or?
I've got 3. Well, I don't have 3 anymore. They're expired, so they're off my record now. As of like 3 years ago. So
Oh,
it's been
okay.
like 10 years. But yeah, I had 3. Had a possession of marijuana. Had a possession of MDMA with intent to deliver, and I had a delivery of MDMA.
Okay. Thank you for.
I don't think that anyone at the house really was. I wouldn't say they were into hard drugs or any. I don't know if I could say that word. Probably not. But since he said that had those charges, I do wonder if, and since they had so many parties, if he did ever supply stuff to people at that house. And if he did, then he would have definitely been in there. What do you think about that? If he maybe supplied maybe MD, I don't know if I could say that on here. You know what that is. It's X. I'll just say that X. Yeah, I wonder if he supplied that or marijuana to people at that house.
Oh, I could see that any day.
Yeah, and I could see him saying like, "Oh, well, why don't I come in and smoke, or why don't you smoke? The first one like is on me," and so a way to get in there, to try it out with them. I could totally see that as a his way to get in the house. What do you think about that, Liza? Do you think that he might have supplied that to? And again, I'm not trying to say anyone in there did drugs or anything like that. I'm just saying that this may have been a way he could have gone in there since this was an arrest that he had.
I don't think so, because they have said that street is what, known for drugs. If I was 21 and that guy will sell me cigarettes, I will go to another guy to buy cigarettes because he just will creep me out.
Yeah, but I could see, like, I've been sitting here this whole time trying to figure out why this dude would, at 30 years old, would want to live in Sorority Row. Well, there you go. You live in the area of the fraternities and the sorority houses. If you selling
Well,
X and X, that you're gonna make your money guaranteed living there in the middle of Party Central.
yeah, but he will have a lot of competition and more people with more or nicer disposition that he has. Plus, I think that Charles said that Charles, that knows the place, said that Moscow had limited housing. Then, when you get one, you take it. And on that one, I'm not very sure. I mean,
Yeah, I think he definitely is a tea drinker for sure. Nothing against tea drinkers, but I could see him sipping tea all day.
I could
Sharing
definitely
that.
see.
Oh, and let's see. We lost you for a bit. Are you back? You're
Yeah.
back. Can we hear you? Okay, we can hear you. All right. Thank you, Stephanie B, for reminding everyone that's here to please, if you like these types of interviews, hit like and subscribe. It helps us know what we should continue doing as a channel. And Liz is asking, this is a great question, and I want to take this question a little bit further. She is asking, have there been any normal parties at the Sigma Chi house since the incident, or any parties, or has it been really quiet?
No, I haven't. I haven't really noticed anything since then. But I honestly haven't been really.
Sorry to pause it again, but I saw Daliana's, sorry if I said that wrong, comment, and I agree with that. So that's why I was saying that it is possible that he had been in the house before, even if it wasn't for Xana, Kaylee, Maddie, or Ethan, but for maybe one of the other roommates or just someone that was partying at the house that called them over. And that's how he had been in the house.
Oh, hey Lex. I'm glad to see you. Hope you're doing good.
Hi, Lex Luthor.
I haven't been home as much lately on the weekends, but yeah, it's been pretty quiet, honestly. No, because there's definitely been no parties at that house recently, and I think there was like maybe one, but I can't really remember anything outside of that. It's been pretty tame recently.
Okay. Yeah, has it been quieter around town since this event?
Yeah, I
event.
mean,
That
it's
was
also like you have to think about it too, like the cops are everywhere,
horrible
right?
crime.
Like nobody wants to party. Like the cops are like there's like probably like 20 cops parked in like the parking lot next to our neighborhood. Like, and there's like probably like another 5 like in the house like all day. There's always one that's there all night. So it's like I don't think anyone's trying to party with, you know what I mean? Like for whatever reason. So it's kind of funny. I thought they were like, just trying to like speed trap and pull people over for like the first few weeks, but then I realized that they're just nonstop working on this case. So they're always here. But I'm sure people are trying to throw parties with that happening. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally. Liz, thank you. And I want to correct my words. I called what has happened 4 weeks ago an event. What I mean is an absolutely horrendous crime and tragedy. Forgive my sometimes not the best words I use. I don't mean to. Lives can be hard while I'm multitasking with chat. There was a great question from Julie Holden. I don't see it now, but essentially, has the restaurant you work in, without telling us what that restaurant is, has it been quieter?
No, it's. I mean, people can't stop telling me about the conspiracy theories, and it's actually been providing a little bit of humor in these times, because they're pretty hilarious individuals. So like I don't know, they just keep like making fun of these new conspiracies, and so it's been an interesting time for sure. The first week it was really quiet. I didn't say like probably like really anything for the first few days. Like I was at work after it happened, but after a few weeks, it's starting to get better. I don't know. I have the other day I was thinking about it and I was pretty quiet, but we've been trying to like, I don't know, it's best to just try not to think about it, right now, but it's hard also because like we're surrounded by it everywhere. But
right. Yeah, speaking of speculations, you know, you live in the neighborhood, which means there was somebody that, you know, did this. Do you speculate without naming names? We don't want to name any names or anything or identify people on our channel, but do you ever speculate about who could have possibly done this?
I mean, for sure, but no one fits the bill. Honestly, when I think about all my neighbors, I'm just like, no way. Like everyone, I think, even like, you know, who might kill them at the slightest inconvenience is just completely irrational and ridiculous. Like when I think about any like individual personally, like any personal like neighbor, like anyone in this area, I'm just like, there's no way. Like they're all like pretty normal people. They all got their own shit going on. Um, to think of them doing this is just absurd. But
So with
yeah,
that being said,
So he acts like he knows all his neighbors. I mean, I don't know all my neighbors. Do you guys know all of your neighbors? Would you be able to say that about all of your neighbors are really good people and everything?
Well, I'm an introvert, so I don't know one of my neighbors' names.
What
I'm not
about you,
even.
Liza?
I know the names of their dogs. That's it.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because he's like, oh, all the neighbors, they're pretty good. Like, I couldn't see any of them doing anything like that. Like, how can he speak for all of them? I don't know how he would be able to know all of them. That none of them would do that. That just seems strange that he would know none of them would do that.
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, none of your neighbors fit the bill. What type of person do you think this might have been? What do you think the motive was?
I'm looking into the. I don't know if it's true, but I was looking into a report that said it was like almost a blunt, heavy object, and a really strong person did it. I'm kind of imagining like maybe like a hunter dude, like some like super mentally ill dude who's maybe experienced with hunting, who has like some type of like farm blunt stabbing object, and just like really waited patiently until everything was really quiet. Like maybe he knew about this weekend was being quiet and then went in there and did it. But I don't know. It's like, it's so bizarre. Like nothing, thinking about, it's hard to think about it because I think the first thing I try to think about is a motive. And that's like, it just draws me into a bunch of blanks. So yeah, but I mean, there's like, you know, there's surrounding areas that have like have a history of lead poisoning. So like, you know,
We lost you for a bit, or at least on my end.
What is he saying about lead poisoning? I kind of missed that.
I'm wondering if he's trying to insinuate is someone got lead poisoning and it drove them nuts to do something like this?
I don't know. That was odd. What do you think, Liza?
I'm just laughing here. I mean, the likes are just driving me.
You should unmute yourself so we could hear you laughing.
Yes, it's like somebody will count them, and somebody will say, "Okay, the first one that give me the number will win $1,000." Because I've never seen something like this. This is the first time.
If you want to try to, I'm going to try to refresh this and see while we can see if we get him back to ask him more questions. Somebody's asking if he was paid for this interview. Absolutely not. This was something I requested, and he willingly did as volunteer. He is not being paid, and Hidden True Crime has never paid for an interview. Nor have we been paid for an interview we've done. Let's see. I'm going to try to remove and bring him back. Nothing. Chef Dizzy, if you can hear me, try refreshing. We'll wait for a little bit longer. I am seeing chats. They are going very, very fast. Stick with me here to see if we might have fully lost him now. But again, we'll wait for a little bit and see if you can't get back on the link. Husband of forensic psychologist.
So I guess she didn't get him back. If we ever score an interview with Enan, remind me to ask him to elaborate on that lead poisoning comment, because I need to know what he was talking about.
I think he was busy juggling. He left his interview to go juggle.
You have to go work on my sixth flow.
Yeah, exactly. And Mallory, I just sent you the link.
What did he say? I did a sick flow and then went inside and meditated. And what was the other thing he said? And I'm like, what is that?
I have no idea. He's a very strange character. Like I said, this whole you would think you really would think this is out of a movie, because it's just like everyone is just so strange in this whole case. But it seems like from what one of the one of the officers is saying is they don't want to jeopardize the case for when there is a prosecution. So for them saying that, it seems like they're confident that that this is gonna go to trial, and it can't go to trial unless they have a suspect where they arrest. So it seems like they may have somebody. What do you like? Don't you think they wouldn't make that comment if they didn't maybe have someone?
I don't know. Maybe. Yes, that's what he said. He said, after working on my sick flow, I went back in the house and did some meditation and stretching and drilling. Whatever that is. What?
I don't know. He's talking in code, or I have no idea.
But I'm sorry. Can you ask what? Okay. What? Say what you said before that again, one more time. Because I was stuck on the sick.
That they had said, I think it's one of the things that I'm going to play, that they don't want to jeopardize this investigation, because they don't want to, and I'm not saying this verbatim at all. Hopefully I can play the interview, but that they don't want to mess anything up, because for the prosecution, when that, I don't remember how they worded it, but when they do get it to court, they don't want to mess it up with prosecution and handling everything the right way. So that makes me think that then they do maybe have somebody that they are just waiting for everything to get all. Yeah, like
at least a person of interest. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. If they're confident that it's going to go to trial, it sounds like it.
Mallory's backstage, I think. Oh, okay.
Hi, Mallory.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Hi,
I've
Mallory.
missed that.
Hi.
Hey, love.
Hello.
Okay, have you heard from Kaylee's defense attorney? I mean, not Kaylee's defense attorney, from Kaylee's family's lawyer yet?
I watched it, yes, but I think it's worth watching.
Okay, in chat, put a 1 if you've heard it. Put a 2 if you have not heard it. This is Kaylee's family's lawyer. They make a statement.
I have not
me.
heard, but Brittany, I am spending a lot of money because it's Christmas, but if you land an interview with that guy and you can keep it together, I will pay to watch that.
I'm trying. I have reached out on multiple platforms to try and get them on Brits. I'm just waiting.
You would have to barter with me on that one, Liza. Like, give me a time frame of how long I can handle it, because, oh my God.
I'd be up there, but I'd have to be muted.
If he says he's doing a sick flow or something even close to that on my panel, I'm dead. I'm
See,
just
I
done.
You'd
I
probably
would
have
ask him.
everyone would be in there though, because it would be very amusing.
I would
Brittany,
ask him what he meant.
just imagine Brittany asking him that. Could you please explain to us what? Oh my God, I will die.
Oh, my
I
first question's gonna be what did you mean? What's a sick flow, and what's drilling?
Because he hasn't said that he's a rapper or anything like that, right?
No, but he does like Wu-Tang.
Then
You
after
listen to
you
Wu-Tang
ask
Clan.
that, I will be so scared of the answer because I don't know.
there are a few real questions I would have for him though.
Even
Yes,
this
definitely.
this lady
Yes,
asked
he did.
real. She asked real questions. Actually, I think she's a professional,
Yeah.
and l- sometimes she was trying to keep it together. I mean, she handled it like a professional. I have to give her that. Very good.
You saw what Charles said. You can probably lure the chef over for an interview with a half bottle of cheap wine and an Arby's coupon.
We just have to make sure that he doesn't see any of your previous lives of us laughing.
I
Oh my
know.
God, right?
We are not. No. Okay. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing.
You're laughing with him?
Well,
No, I think you're laughing at him.
it's not. It's like I'm incapable of go to his level, and I cannot understand him. Maybe it's on me. I just I cannot. Maybe I'm too old. I don't understand how they talk now. That's what
Okay.
happened.
Well,
So
I think
Brittany,
sorry.
We should go to the lawyer before I say another stupid thing.
I was just gonna say someone said drilling is running through his routine. He's practicing his performance.
Okay, well, he really did say
Good.
I went inside after I did a sick flow. Or he said
Yes.
after I had a sick flow, I went inside and meditated and stretched and did some drilling or something like that.
Well, I know drilling, like we're doing a cheer drill or something like that, but I don't think he's a cheerleader. Why she adds that to his list of accomplishments?
I think he was
Somebody in
drilling
chat asked.
his juggling performance.
Got it.
Okay. Well, somebody had asked, did he really say a sick flow? Those
Yes.
verbatim was his words. So now every time I see him, all I can think of is sick flow, yo. I'm working on my sick flow. All right, I'm done.
Okay, I'll play the Kaylee's family's interview now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the lawyer, the attorney that's representing them. I figured it out that time how to go just to the tab, so thank you, everyone who helped.
Thank you so much for joining us here. And the latest developments, what are you kind of talking with the family about, and kind of just what are we looking at right now, a month after this tragedy?
Well, on Monday, we had a meeting with the investigators, the prosecutor, Chief Fry, everyone that's kind of involved in the investigation, and the family and myself met with them and wanted to kind of connect with them about a few issues. We had a lot of questions that we wanted answered. Most of them didn't get answered because they're keeping, most of the investigation pretty close to the vest. But we did want to cover a couple of things. The first thing was accountability. there have been a lot of inconsistent statements put out by Chief Fry, Bill Thompson, Kathy Mabbitt, Art Betke, the mayor, and those inconsistencies, kind of didn't promote confidence in the investigation, because if you have one rooster that's basically speaking and telling the correct information instead of 4 or 5 people speaking and giving interviews, it can be much more of a consistent message. And so we wanted to let them know that we'd like to see, some more accountability when it comes to communication with the public, and accountability regarding, them managing their side of the investigation a little better. The second part of it was communication with the families, the victims' families, and making sure that has they do a better job of it. They haven't done a very good job of communicating with the families. It's been kind of inconsistent. We've been reaching out to them, a lot of that stuff, and I wanted to make it very clear to them that our expectations were the investigations, number one, obviously. Number two is the victims' families, and the third is the media, and the general public. The idea that the families might hear about some new information on a news release was unacceptable. We needed to hear about it first, prepare for anything that might come down the road regarding that, and move forward in that direction. So
it is, and there's a lot of information we don't know. And like you said, police are keeping a lot of this information close as the investigation continues. How much does the families know, and how much does the Gonsalves family know about what happened on that night?
Well, there's been a lot of information that's been put out by the different parties. Bill Thompson made some statements about the targeting aspect of it that, Chief Fry walked back on. Kathy Mabbitt, the coroner on the case, has made a lot of statements, a lot of interviews, has spoken with different victims' families. Art Betke, obviously, from the get-go, the mayor of Moscow, made the statement about crime of passion. So, we went in wanting to clarify a lot of that information. We wanted to, I had 5 pages of questions that, we were looking for. They wouldn't give us much information, if any, on most of the stuff. But we're hopeful that, the thing that we wanted to do is that leaving that meeting, the police asked us to, for the platform that we're using, giving some interviews, is to really focus on information regarding the 2011, 2013 Hyundai white vehicle, and, the tip line being 208-883-7180, and getting information on that and putting that out to the public. I think that's an important piece of evidence regarding who might have been in the car, what they might have seen, things like that. And the fact that the tip line itself has been turned over to the FBI. So you'll have to be patient in your tips. There might be a prompting that you may have to go through. It may be a 15-minute or so phone call in order to get the tip in. But for us to, put that forward and make sure that people were aware of that, and that's a piece of evidence that they're really looking for. So,
and over the last just week or so, the tip line has been opened, and you mentioned the car as well, that white stock photo that they sent out, and they post on their Facebook page about all the information and sort of tips. But we really haven't heard a ton from police as the media, and obviously we're a low priority here on the scheme of things. But is there more communication? Is there a daily communication between the police and the families?
Well, that's part of it. I mean, there's a lot of questions that we asked during the meeting on why they are keeping certain information from the public, why they're not using the community more, and trying to find a suspect or a person of interest in the case. These are all investigative decisions that they're making, and we're going to hold them accountable for all of those decisions that they make. And we are, the one thing that people are very, we support the police, we support the investigation, we support everything about the people that are helping the investigation, but you also have to hold people accountable for the decisions that they make, and hold people accountable in every job. I'm held accountable for the things that I do. Everyone is. So You can be pro-police, pro-investigation, all of those things, and support everyone that's involved, but still hold them to a level of accountability. And so, as part of the communication with the family, that's part of the thing that we wanted to clarify. We wanted to make sure there's daily check-ins with the family, daily updates. If the family has a concern, let's say they see somebody posted some video online, and they're concerned about that. And we direct that directly to the police department, and they need to respond immediately. And the reason they need to is because maybe them getting back to us and saying, hey, that's just a bunch of fluff and there's nothing that's there with that piece of evidence. It allows the family to sleep better at night. It allows them to, to move on with things and check that box and do those things. So we wanted to make sure that they were aware of that as well. And, one thing I've been saying all along, kind of
pause it for a second, but why do you think that they got a lawyer or an attorney? I think part of it is because of damage control, like with the article that went on the other day where that Fox put out, and then Olivia, Kaylee's sister, was saying that it wasn't true. And that article, I do think that Steve, Kaylee's father, did say some of it, but then I think that Fox embellished a lot of it as well, and that now they're trying to do a lot of damage control. But what do you think about why that they have an attorney? And that goes to chat as well.
Well, I honestly, as far as the last time I checked, that article was still up.
Yes, it is, and they have a new article, so it's not. So it seems that they're keeping it up.
Well, not only that, look at immediately their attorney is back to Fox talking again. So I think, in my personal opinion, I think that he probably spoke to them off the record or something and told them these things, and they put it up. Something happened where those were his words that were quoted, because they would make themselves liable to be sued. Fox isn't stupid. You know what I mean? It's
Lose
one
accountability.
thing, yeah, it's one thing to do blatant false, fake news. And it's a whole nother thing when you're making yourself to be. Yeah, I mean, these are quotations. I mean, they're putting these words on this man.
Yeah,
And
there was just one part without quotes, right? There was just like one or two
Mm-hmm.
sentences.
Yep. And that stuck out to me. I noticed that immediately. I was like, wait a minute. This is worded like he's saying it, but there's no quotation marks around it.
Yeah.
So
that's I was talking to Britt about it earlier. Maybe it was yesterday, about how I think that a conversation with all this wording took place, and it was under some type of agreement that certain things were not going to be said. And maybe they were like, hey, we'll give it to you. You can have it first, but you need to wait till we say it's okay. And then maybe Fox just went with it. Especially if the family like got a lawyer, and then all of a sudden the lawyer was like, dude, no, you have to, we have to tell them they can't run with it or something like that. Like, that can never get out. Then they'll go back and be like, okay, well, I'm sorry, you're never going to be able to release that. And then they're like, screw you. Yeah, you are. You know what I mean? Like,
but and look,
I agree with Mallory on that one.
And Lex Megan. Sorry. Stop.
I'm sorry. But I was thinking about that. Did Steven got the lawyer before he made the statement or after? Well, we are not sure about that, but if what I understand Mallory said, maybe Steven did gave the statement. Fox just kept it.
Yeah,
and when they felt, the lawyer is new, we better just release this before the lawyer takes us to court. And yes, exactly.
Well, and I was thinking too, just in the aspect of the way that it's worded, it sounds a lot like his actual first interview with them. So I'm wondering if he literally has only talked to Fox News like once or twice. And this is information that he had all the way back in the first interview that he told them. But he literally was just like, hey, hold it until we give you the okay. But then everything kind of got fast tracked once they got the lawyer, because they knew the lawyer would come back and be like, no, you're not releasing that. Like, that can not only hurt the family for telling you, but like, but then so at the same time, the family still has a right to be like, no, we didn't give you the okay to post this. And there's still some type of legal side to that, I think.
I don't know something.
But it's already done, and now Stephen can say, well, I wanted to stop it but couldn't stop it because the lawyer was not ready. And Fox can say, well, we had it and we were in our right to do it. And at the end of the day, if Stephen told Fox,
Yeah.
he wanted out.
Well, the thing is though, look, he's talked with Fox the whole time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even just
That's
like
been
Lex
his
said in
one.
chat, even
That's
why he's on with
sorry.
the. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's been like the main news outlet that he's been going to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he came out and said at the very beginning, like, there's someone that I've been talking to. This is what Ava Hawkshaw said, and I just brought it. He said at the very beginning, he's like, when they said, "Do you know who was targeted?" And he's like, "I asked them if I could ask you that." Blah blah blah, and they said no, but I told them that there was. Can I tell you something that I found out on my own? And because this media person had been close to me, and uh something like that. So I think, yeah, what Lex Luthor said too, there might have been some type of off-air conversation that was talked about when he was being interviewed, and I just don't, because it would be first person, they'd still be able to quote it, you know what I mean?
I just don't think that they put those words on that man and he didn't say it, because not because I think Fox is this great news organization, because I don't. I think they're all crap.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not dumb either. They know that would get them, you know, pounded for a lawsuit.
So let me see. Who was it? I saw someone said maybe he only trusts Fox News.
It was
So
Greg. Yep.
okay, so Greg, yeah, maybe he only trusts Fox. So if he didn't say that, then that's definitely not the case now. But
Yeah.
Well, I
like
don't.
I said, I do think that he did say stuff, but they may have embellished a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Well, but they cannot embellish that much. And with the media, you have to look for, it depends of your politics, but the lesser of your evils, maybe that's for him is Fox.
Yeah.
He have to deal with them because
Mm-hmm.
without the media he do not have a voice, and he wants to have a voice, and he's not going to keep quiet.
Mm-mm.
Steven is the man on a mission.
Oh, yes, definitely. He's not gonna stop until this person is in jail.
I foresee him not sticking with the lawyers for too long. Honestly,
I think it
if this
depends
drags
on what he
on.
can get.
Mm-hmm.
I
I,
personally
I'm,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Britt.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
No.
go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, back to Valerie's original question on why I think they got a lawyer. I think they realized with talking to people and talking to news stations and stuff, because news stations are very like, hey, you can do this, you can do this, this is your right. You know what I mean? Like they have that, to the aspect that I think they realized that there were things legally that they could do to get information released to them. And I think once her dad kind of went on and then realized that him talking to the media was putting more of like a blocker between him and the police, that he was like, okay, well then let's try this next lane where we get legal involved to the point where legally you have to tell me everything that you legally have to tell me, versus just someone coming in with no legal knowledge and saying, oh, tell me this, tell me this. And they're like, oh, we don't have to tell you that. And you're like, okay, well, crap. I think that's why they got the lawyer, because him going to the media did not pan out the way that he was hoping it would. And so now he's like willing to fight the police legally for the information that he believes is his. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which, can you fault the guy at all? I can't. If it was my kid, I'd be losing my mind.
You try everything.
Especially now with us finding out that there's so many different unalivings that's taking place around that school.
Yeah.
That's not, y'all. Something's wrong.
I agree. Like I said, it seems like Truckee all over again here. But so is the I always say it wrong. Gonsalves family, are they the only one that has a lawyer? Like Maddie's family, Ethan and Santa's family, they don't have a lawyer or an attorney, correct?
I'm
Just
sure this guy, based on everything we've seen so far, is probably representing Maddie's family too. Just because they're
okay.
kind of two peas in a pod. I don't think he said that. I think he's coming off as a
Gonsalves. I know how to say it,
yes.
but once I'm on a live, I forget how to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think it's probably because they may be footing the bill for it. But I think anyone fighting for Kaylee is going to be straight up front fighting for Maddie too, just based on how their families are working together anyways.
It almost makes me wonder if the Gonsalves is low-key raised Maddie. I really wonder, like, if she just kind of lived with them.
Maybe. I mean,
I do too. I can see that that kind of relationship going.
Well, for the
know.
siblings to be close to her too. All of Maddie's Kaylee's sisters call her their sister. She was in their weddings. It's beyond, I don't know, it's almost like she was raised in that household.
The other thing for the father is that he needs a lawyer because he is going to continue pressing
Yeah.
the authorities, and the FBI could be very convincing and very scary. And once you have a lawyer there, the FBI could not do more than three things.
Lex Luthor, that was my line of thinking right there. Me and Lex always think alike. Lex said no mention of Maddie's mother either. That I told
that's what, yeah,
Natalie
I
that
was
today.
wondering that too, but then I was like, well, wait, what if it has been mentioned? And then I'm gonna look stupid because everyone's gonna be like, no, Maddie's mother everyone's talked about her. But that's all I've heard of is Maddie's father, of him speaking I remember him talking about how great Maddie was, but I didn't ever hear of her mother. But then I was thinking maybe I just didn't see that part. But yeah, with what Lex said and what you're saying, Brittany, there is no mention of Maddie's mother. So maybe she looked at Kaylee's mom as her mom.
Yeah.
I saw her, I think I saw her, I could be wrong, on the Celebration of Life, but she was with somebody that was not the guy I recognize as Maddie's father, when they have the words of I don't know how to say it, the goodbye words at the school.
Yeah.
Then I got a little confused there because it was her mother. It looks just like her, but she was with somebody else, maybe a brother, or she was there. I saw her, but somebody was talking. She didn't talk that much, but Kaylee's father said that he's talking for those two, Kaylee and Maddie, and he also talked with Sana's parents.
Yeah.
Then the only ones out of these for now are Ethan's parents, but they have, a, I mean, they on top of what they have to suffer because they have a son gone, they have to try their best to keep life normal for their other two
Yeah.
while dying inside. Then they have they all of them are in a difficult position, but
Yeah. Heartbreaking.
yeah,
Thank
but
you, TJ.
Yeah, Valerie, you're awesome. You should never, ever even question it.
No, I feel like when I get on a live, everything I forget, like I said, how to speak. But
Well,
okay, I'll
Gonsalves is like there's this is the first time I've ever heard that name. That's
Well,
new. Have you
which
heard Gonsalves before?
no, not for
It's
this
very
case.
unique.
oh no, I never had before this case. I'm curious what the origins are of this name.
Yeah,
Hand
it's
in hand
unique.
with that is that
Sorry, the audio's low. This is the highest that it's at here and on the computer. So I'm not sure why the audio is so low.
I could hear it.
Okay, I saw people in chat saying the audio is too low.
Oh.
there are a lot of people out there that are trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, and coming up with ideas and theories and things like that. Especially, ones that are directed towards the families, any of the families. Number one, there needs to be a lot of grace and kindness that's put towards the families. This is a tragedy for them. It's a news story for a lot of people, but it's a life tragedy for this family and for all the victims' families. And so, a father or a daughter or someone making a statement and then them running with that statement and doing different things, and twisting it in a way. These are people that have lost a sister, a brother, a daughter, and people need to, be aware of that and just be kind. And the reality of it is that the media shouldn't give those people platforms to speak. They're vile. And so the media needs to hold themselves accountable for that as well. If you are putting things out there and allowing someone to have a platform that's a supposed expert on the case, then you need to really think about what you're doing. So, and what good it's doing. And it's not good it's doing for the broadcast, what good it's doing for the investigation, for the families that are directly affected and will be affected for the rest of their lives.
It definitely is a very traumatic moment for the four families, but also the entire community in Idaho, Moscow. Certainly a small, close-knit community, the University of Idaho, the student body as a whole. But amongst the victim families, obviously you represent Kaylee Gonsalves and that family. Is there any communication amongst the families? Because we've seen different members of families speak out recently, and obviously as this investigation continues on, they're searching for answers. They want a little bit of peace of mind. How much communication is there amongst the families of these four tragic victims?
Well, I mean, in our situation, Maddie's family was very close with Kaylee's family, so they're in constant communication with each other. I do think that that's been a little bit of a how would I want to put it, some damage control that has to, when you have an investigation and you put out the word targeting and you have sons and daughters that were there, and you don't know who the target supposedly is, or if it's a targeted house, or what, if it's even targeted at all, based on the information that's been released, that the families start kind of pointing fingers at each other, like, oh, well, maybe you know, they were targeting them, and why were they targeting them in some way? So I don't think it really helped bring the families together at all. It kind of pushed them apart because they didn't know anything about the investigation. And so, you would think in a situation like this that all the families would be together, and Kaylee and Maddie's families are very close, but we haven't had much contact with some of the other families, but I've only been on it for about a week or so. So the history of the contact with the families, I'm not really sure on as far as how long or what type of communications they've had. So.
Correct. Yeah, I wanted to ask that question. And I think the most recent development we've seen, obviously, the police putting out the car, but we also saw some of the possessions of these victims being removed from the house. How important was that to the Gonsalves family to maybe get some possessions out of a potential crime scene and get it back to them?
Well, I mean, you can look at it two ways. I think it was a big deal by the police, but I'm not sure it was such a big deal to the victims or the families. These are belongings that were involved in a murder or surrounded a murder. And, sometimes you have different emotions with that. Sometimes you want to cling on to those belongings, and sometimes you just want to push them away and never see them again, depending on if they bring up memories of those things. So, is it good that they return the items? Yes, it's great. But I'm not sure it's something that I would hang my hat on as far as that's they've done great. So.
All right. And my final question to you is, as we continue on, it's been a month since that tragic November 13th early morning hours. What do you do from here? What does the Gonsalves family do? Do they continue to support police and hope for answers, or are there other things that can happen? What does it look like moving forward from here?
Well, they've always supported the police. They support the.
I was just going to pause it for a minute. So it does seem like they are in contact with Maddie's family, like you had said, Brittany, that you were guessing. You know how you said that they're probably working with Maddie's family? He's probably working with Maddie's family also.
Yeah, I think Mallory said it, but yeah, I agree. I do
Yeah,
think that he definitely, because I mean, those two go hand in hand.
exactly. So it did seem like that he wasn't really talking to the other families, but with Maddie's family, that he maybe is giving advice to them and that they are in very close contact.
Well,
That's what I gathered.
Yeah, me too. But I'm wondering too. I noticed he said, um, the media should hold themselves accountable by who they allow to come on there, uh, claiming themselves to be experts of the case. Wonder who he was talking about.
I'm
Like,
not sure.
I have a guess, but I'm not going to say out loud.
I was wondering if it was that person that was trying to insinuate that Kaylee's dad was at fault.
I hate people. I mean, I don't mean I hate people. I hate that people are saying that. And Colleen Colleen Kerr, I have heard that too. So I'm not sure. Brittany and Liza, have you heard this? That Kaylee and Maddie were cremated together.
I didn't hear the. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I heard that they were cremated. I do not know if it was together, but I also heard that their urns are on the Goncalves Goncalves family house.
I
heard.
I heard their ashes were together.
I believe it was their urns are together, which would be their ashes, but I don't believe they're in one together.
Yeah, no, like they're side by side with each other.
Like they're separate urns, but next to each other.
It still breaks my heart when I think about what Kaylee's dad said about how his daughter went to college and she came back in a box. Like that sticks with me in my head, that him saying that.
That was powerful.
Yeah.
Very.
That was powerful too, but I remember, and I will misquote this part. He said something like, to this moment, it was my job to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be very difficult for me to give that away. Something like that he said in the like the fourth day.
Yeah, I remember that interview.
Oh my, uh, I feel, and I understand I right now I don't remember the ex FBI agent. I actually look at his resume, and the guy, was a U.S. U.S. SEAL officer, a marshal, a director somewhere, and an FBI. The guy has an incredible resume, and by the facts and how they look at unsubs or the probable murderers, I'm sorry for the word, they have to look at how Steven is doing, because he's not caring. He's just going just right for them. Most of the family retract and wait for the FBI. This guy is different. This is kind of a type A guy, go get it.
Mhm.
And I think that he will. Do you remember? For the only thing I was too young. That guy that used to have a program because his son was kidnapped in a mall.
Yeah.
What was his name? Does somebody remember? Because I don't remember.
Yep.
Adam Walsh.
Yes.
That
Oh, what's
Stephen reminds me to Adam Walsh.
oh, okay, yeah,
That
John
kind of
Walsh.
father that
John
he
Walsh.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of father.
Yeah.
He probably will be the Adam Walsh of our times
Yeah.
or these times.
I definitely could see him going on and creating like some type of foundation or something in Maddie and Kaylee's name. You know,
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see that too. Just like how they were doing that, I believe, with like the Gabby Petito
I was
Foundation.
just gonna say
Mhm.
Yeah.
they very much give off the same vibes as parents, Gabby's parents. And
I'm
Kaylee's
sorry, it's John Walsh.
Yeah.
Welsh.
John Walsh. Okay, yeah. I think everyone in chat knew who we meant.
I don't even. I was the only thing I was too young for.
See, I knew that one.
Investigation. They're hopeful and optimistic, as they should be, in these cases, and they're hoping that the decisions that are made by the investigators are going to eventually find the person who committed these crimes. And so, moving forward, they're just supportive of the police and supportive of the things that they're doing, and they're hopeful that there'll be some answers. I don't know what the time frame is on that, but hopefully there'll be some answers in the future, and still just being involved in the investigation as much as we can. So,
And I think a lot of people are looking for the answers. What is maybe the message that the Gonsalves family is speaking to police?
well, like, I mentioned earlier, our first is accountability. We want to make sure that the police are doing the things that they need to do, and they're making the right judgment calls about certain things. We had a lengthy meeting with them on Monday, and didn't get a lot of the answers that we wanted, because they're keeping it close to them, all the details in the investigation. We pointed out a lot of inconsistencies that we thought have been put out to the public, and different things. We mentioned some other things to them. And then, the communication with the families. We wanted them to really make sure that that was a priority for the police department, not just our family, but all of the victims' families. And so, and then, the police are the police car, the car that they're looking for, the white Hyundai, making sure that people are very aware of that. And then my last was just the media holding people accountable for people that probably shouldn't be speaking about things, and offer some kindness and some grace towards all of the families. So
Yes, all of the families. Thank you so much, especially as we're heading into the holiday season. Certainly a hard time.
Okay, so that was what I wanted to show there. There is other stuff that I wanted to show, but did you have anything else you guys wanted to say about the interview, or not really?
Well, the last part, it's very important that, we all, because we get into the crime and everything, but the part of showing kindness and grace, sometimes I see myself taking notes and forgetting that these are daughters and
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah, we do need to remember what this case is about. So if everyone can put hearts or prayer signs up for Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, either pink hearts or prayers. Because we do, a lot of times the victims do get lost because everyone's so focused on the case and the suspects and everything, like a game of Clue. And so the victims sometimes get lost in this, but this is about them and like finding who did this, and so that we can get justice for them.
Yeah. Valerie, I just sent you something in back chat.
Okay, let me take a look. I was putting up prayer hands and hearts on my end too. If you wondered why I wasn't saying anything.
I was
Hmm.
really quiet.
No, I was gonna say too that that's the most important thing. But another thing too that I was reminded of tonight when I was live is like, even though we look at things and we speculate and we may think this, this doesn't come off right or look right, we're never insinuating that anybody's guilty, because we don't want to walk away from this with somebody's life ruined when they, are innocent of all of it. And like, never go harass anybody that's brought up in these cases either, because it just doesn't, that doesn't do anything to help anybody. It just, if anything, it'll make things worse. I saw some post that one of those fraternity guys, that's being brought up from that 4chan post, like, people are going on his Twitter and saying some awful things.
And he's responding. He's sticking up for himself too.
Yeah.
People are messaging him and calling him names, and he's just like, "Why would you think that? Like, I was not involved."
Mm-hmm.
Or they're like, "Tell us who did this," and he's like, "Why would you think I even knew?"
He's responding, but um I don't know. I think that's gross. You're gonna go up. You have no proof that anyone,
Yeah.
none of us know.
Well, and especially if they're not putting themselves in the situation. At least with like Enon, he's putting himself out there. He's like, "I'm doing interviews. I'm taking," you know what I mean. And Lip
Mm-hmm.
Balm, we're talking about the other one, not Loach, the other one.
Yeah. Well, with Enon, what really bothers me is, like, just go to his Facebook page and you'll see where he's saying, you know, he's famous now,
Yeah.
and the merch is coming, and the cookbook, and the new recipes. Like,
You can hire him for parties to do his stick juggling.
yeah, learn to read a room, dude.
He's
Seriously.
trying to promote himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you have seen this. This is from today. Have you seen the updated release from the City of Moscow Police Department or Moscow Police Department?
I get it emailed to me, so I've read it.
Okay. All right. And then Mallory also is going to tell you guys about another unaliving that happened as well in the area. But so so December 13th, this is 1 month after, and I'm going to play an interview with one of the officers as well. But 1 month after the murders took place, investigators continue to piece together what happened in the hours leading up to the crime in order to determine who is responsible. This while asking the public to stay focused on the official facts released by the Moscow Police Department. Over the past 4 weeks, rumors and speculation have led members of the public to provide tips based on rumors rather than official information provided by the case. The public is reminded that tips should be provided to the Moscow Homicides Tip Line, which is now routed to the National FBI Tip Line to best gather, prioritize, and distribute valuable tips to investigators. Callers need to use the 208-883-7180 number and not send tips to the Moscow Police Department. The FBI line also takes calls regarding other reports, so please be patient during this time. And it gives the number here. After that, the process of being transferred to an operator begins. There are 2 prompts, and you don't really need to know this. If you want to make a call, it is all here. And then rumors and speculation have also affected the families of the victims, friends, and fellow students. In some cases, this has led to harassing and threatening behavior towards potentially involved parties. Anyone engaging in threats or harassment, whether in person, online, or otherwise, needs to understand that they could be subjecting themselves to criminal charges. And it says, see an interviewing reflecting on the last month and where the investigation is headed with Captain. So it's saying just to go here for the interview. Again, it's saying that right now there's 6 detectives. That doesn't seem like that many to me. 5 support staff, the communications team, and with the FBI, there's 46 investigators, 2 behavioral analysts, and I think that's interesting about the 2 different ones. With the Idaho State Police, 13 investigators, 15 uniformed troopers, ISP forensic services, and I'll play this real quick. Or can you see this? Because now I'm on where I'm only sharing certain tabs. Do you see the officer with his eyes closed or no?
I only see the Facebook page.
Okay, I need to change. All right, let me change it.
Oh, we lost Liza.
Oh, I'll see if she comes back so I can put her back up here.
She said, "Can you send the link again, please?"
I'll put it in the chat. There you go, Liza. Here, I'll wait to hit the interview till you come up because once the interview is going, then I won't be able to see you. I'm just kidding.
You must be.
Everyone also could go hit the like for us. We're only 9 away from 1,000.
Oh yeah, I forget that people always say, please hit the like, and I also hear people say, or you can hit the dislike. Does that help your channel too if someone hits the dislike?
Technically, it is considered engagement, but I think this early on, you're going to want to hit the like.
Okay, so yeah, please hit the like. Thank you.
9 likes away from 1,000?
That's what Jim said.
I hope you're right. I hope you're.
Oh wait, subs. He said subs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys. She's got to get to 1,000.
You're giving me bad information.
Well, no,
subs. 1,000 subs.
9
that
subs away from 1,000 is incredible.
yay. Well,
No, come on. We like seriously.
I'm gonna
Technically,
have.
there's only 6 now.
All I have to do is tell my family to join.
No, we got to pass it tonight. That is too close.
Well, I think you're already going up. You're already at
Y'all check your
995.
alt. Anybody got any alts?
Come
And
on.
this is the first time I see this. This is so like New Year's.
Oh, I'm so happy.
The countdown.
Someone
Yeah.
said
You're
I
like,
subbed on my other channel. Good for you.
good job.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Look at you go, girl.
997.
Brittany. Oh, I'll watch it. Then we're gonna see it go 996, 995. I'm just kidding.
5
1,000.
No way. No, not yet.
Yep, mine's 1,000. Mine says
No, it
1K
doesn't.
subscribers.
I don't believe you.
I'll take
Go
a
look.
screenshot.
I'm looking. Oh my God. Wow, I'm gonna cry. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Yay. Well, everyone, take a shot if you have alcohol or something.
So cool.
Yay. Well, I'm
How
happy you're all
awesome.
here with me at this moment. So,
Yay.
celebration,
Look
balloons.
at that.
Someone in chat said
Yay.
they were your
Oh.
1,000th.
Yay. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you, Boz Maka.
But I like your name, Bosmaka.
I know.
You see,
And I
Black,
got a strike all in 1 week, right?
Woohoo.
Wait, you got a strike?
you
Yeah,
not
well,
listening
yeah,
when
you
she
slept
said
through
that?
yeah.
Where were we
Brittany,
talking about that, Valerie?
Wait
You
a minute,
brought
a
it.
takedown strike?
I'll talk to you about it after, but yeah, on my video that I did the other day, I got one.
Oh, we gotta have a talk after. I need to talk to you anyway. I wrote that in a private chat after the live.
Okay, all right. So let me play this real quick for you guys. Just one moment.
Hold, please.
And also, Britt, that's what I was saying was scary. How in the back chat, when you were like, Valerie, I need to talk to you. I was like, that's terrifying.
No, you already know.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Good morning. My name's Roger Lanier. I'm a captain with the Moscow Police Department. I'm in charge of the operations division. And today is December 12th, Monday. And I want to give you an update on the King Road homicide investigations, at least the information that we have to this point. Over the weekend, investigators still continued to sort through numerous tips, calls, and online tips in regard to this investigation. There's been a lot of questions about the white car that we've been interested in. We're looking for that car because we believe through our investigation that that car was in the area during the time of the murders. And we also believe that the occupant or occupants may have seen something. They may not know they have seen something. So we specifically want to talk to them, and we want to know who they are and what they might know or might be able to contribute to the investigation. Over the weekend, investigators have sorted through and prioritized numerous tips. Some are tips that came in earlier and we've been working on. Other tips are new and are relevant. It's overwhelming sometimes with the amount of information that comes in on these tip lines. So our analysts have spent hours sorting through and trying to come up with the most relevant tips first for the investigators to follow up on. They have re-interviewed some of the folks we've interviewed earlier in this investigation to clarify information. Sometimes when new information comes forward, the people that we've spoken to beforehand may have new insight on that. So it does often seem like we're backtracking, but we're really just trying to get the most important details and the best timeline that we can come up with. We have literally an army of analysts who have been sorting through videos that have been submitted through the FBI.gov Moscow upload site. Those videos are from all over town, gas stations, and specifically the area around King Road. We've been trying to use those videos to garner new information. As you can imagine, there's hours and hours and hours of video. So It does take a lot of time. I want to talk a minute about safety. There's been a lot of speculation about what is the safety to the public right now, or the risk to the public right now. I would just like to add that we should always be vigilant. Certainly we should be vigilant now, but we should make that a way of life for us. We should always be walking with our head up, sticking to lighted paths, and walking in groups if we can. And in addition, letting people know when you've arrived home if you have not made prior arrangements. This is not an indication of a specific elevated risk, but something that we should be vigilant with just in our daily lives. I want to let everybody know that we are still 100% committed to solving this crime. There's a lot of information to sort through, and the information keeps coming in. And not all of the information is relevant, but you don't know if a tip is valid until you take the time to examine that tip and see how it relates to other information that you might have. We have teams in Moscow, Salt Lake City, and in Virginia, as well as other locations across the country. And we're prepared to do interviews and follow up on information at any point, anywhere. The ISP and FBI investigators, along with the Moscow Police Department investigators, includes dozens of analysts, tip line operators, and others, and they're working around the clock 7 days a week to sort through the volumes of information. MPD has detectives, support personnel, and a communications team to try to keep everything together, but it is still a daunting task. The FBI, their investigators are ready at a moment's notice at any place in the country to go conduct an interview should the tips and leads take us there. And the Idaho State Police has, besides working on the investigation, had several uniformed troopers in the area to help with safety concerns around the city and on the University of Idaho campus. And just a quick reminder, please stick to official news releases for information. Tracking down rumors and quelling rumors about specific individuals or specific events that may or may not have happened is a huge distraction for investigators, and oftentimes is the result of social media propagation. And it is very, very frustrating to investigators and hard to stay on track. Finally, I just want to add that we do have a lot of information, and we are specifically keeping that information safe. We're not releasing specific details because we do not want to compromise this investigation. It's what we must do. We owe that to the families, and we owe that to the victims. We want more than just an arrest. We want a conviction. We owe that justice to Xana, Kaylee, Madison, and Ethan. And finally, I would just like to remind anybody with information, you can call the tip line at 208-883-7180. And that is directly to the tip line office in the FBI. There's been some frustration about having to wade through the tip line, but remember, this is not the only investigation in the country. So please be patient. We want that information. Anything could break this open for us. And then also the email tip line is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. Thank you for your continued patience in this investigation.
Hi, thank you.
So what do you think about everything, how he says that we don't want to just make an arrest, but we want to make a conviction? So do you think like that means they have someone and they're just waiting to get everything together to really have a strong, when it goes to trial, to make everything stick and make sure that the person doesn't get off on some kind of fluke or something?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that the way that he says it makes it sound like that. Yeah, I don't know what else I was gonna say.
We'll track back to that 911 call too. Remember, they've got They said that they're not going to release that 911 call because it's a part of the investigation.
Yeah, I'm
I,
starting to think that too, Mark. Sorry, I'm just reading comments as well.
oh, what'd Mark say?
That he
I
thinks
missed,
that they are on the right track. Because
yeah,
oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was just going to say, I've been thinking that they've got a person of interest, especially with knowing that car. They're looking for how do they know to look for that car? And I think they might know who drives that car too.
But if they have a person of interest, they will be watching that person of interest, wouldn't they?
Well, that's why they also said to watch the border, the Canadian border.
Well, they have. I don't understand. Do they have that person? Do they know the person and they are getting more on that person to get the conviction? Or
No, I don't think they have anybody in custody.
no,
But I
not in
think that,
custody, but just,
They
like
have them under surveillance.
surveillance.
yeah.
Thank you.
Do you
Yeah.
think that person knows that they're being watched or has any idea that the police are on to them or no?
I think it would depend on where they're located.
Yeah.
I think if they are close by, then I think the person is aware that there's a larger police presence. But if they're farther away, they may think not as much, especially if it's more covert things like unmarked cars and just regular, like dressed up, like, you know, then maybe not.
Then, if they have it under surveillance, why do not tell Steven and just keep him quiet?
Because if they anything they tell him, if it potentially got out, it would be detrimental to a conviction.
Well,
They're not even going to try and take that chance of potentially giving him information that either gets out from someone he knows or
Or he
yeah,
might even go on his own and try and
yeah,
right.
kill the person himself.
Yeah, especially if he's not in custody.
yeah. And if Stevens changes anything about him, then that person could get very nervous. Okay, maybe yes, I can give 2 points to that guy. Maybe the only thing that makes me nervous if they don't have somebody under surveillance. It scares me a lot.
If that's the case, then I am 100% with you.
Okay.
Has everyone seen the whole video of the car at the gas station?
I
I'm
have.
sure you have, Mallory. I was going to say, I know you have. You've seen everything, Mallory. There's nothing I can surprise you with, ever.
No, I've been surprised. I just when things go viral about the case, I'm on so many different sites that it's hard for me to miss it, even if it's just being thrown in there. Hi, Candace.
Hi, Candace.
But it's not, I still find it interesting when you guys talk about it.
Being a no and a yes.
NorCal, don't throw that out there.
What?
Take it back.
What is he taking back?
He said, I think Mallory did it. Just saying. Back off.
All right, so Mallory, I don't know if you wanted to go over I still have here. I'll for the moment share my whole screen, even though I'm not supposed to, but I'll do it for the moment so you can see the different things that I kind of wanted to go over because it's already been over 2 hours. So I don't know if I should do it for So this wanted to. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
So here, and I don't know who has seen this. Mallory, you've seen this. I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Of course you have. So this I was going to show. Like, this is the front door. Well, Teresa doesn't think it's the front door. I mean, she calls the front door the
back
side
door.
way. Yeah, so how we can look in the house and kind of see what way we think. I know we've looked at it through Zillow, but kind of go and it shows that this is one of the surviving roommates' rooms. So that was one of the things I wanted to show. Then here's with the car. This I already showed, so I can get rid of that. Let
That's
me
a nice way to
see.
keep
Let me say
organized.
this, that house drives me completely
Can get rid
crazy.
of that. Oh no, why do I hear myself talking? Okay.
Yeah.
I was sorry. I heard that my YouTube was playing in the background also.
Nip that one in the butt.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, let me see.
I think you could probably do a whole live on the walkthrough.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't want.
I think it's a very important aspect that I think you should take time on, and I think you're very good at the intricacies of that. I would watch a whole live of you doing it.
I agree with Mallory because that is a maze. The person that went there knew where they were going.
It is a maze, definitely. Yes. And let's see, Brian and I. Brittany, calling once, calling twice, calling 3 times.
Brett,
I'm here.
There you are. We woke you up. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't go to sleep. I was trying to get my phone plugged up.
Well, you can go to sleep if you want to. I know it's late. You don't have to if you're tired.
Girl,
people were
I'm gonna
calling you.
probably be up for quite some time. I've slept the last 24 hours.
Okay, Brian, she's awake.
They were calling you out.
Nope, not this time, you guys.
I said there was a really high chance probability, but
Okay, so you think I should do then? You're saying that another live. I just didn't want everyone to do the 3D thing beforehand and then be like, "Oh no, now I can't do it because everyone's done it."
I
So,
don't watch Brit, so as long as Brit doesn't do it, you're good.
Brittany, did you hear that?
I heard it. Y'all are crazy.
Mallory, did you want to tell them, or you could say that in Brittany's? It's up to you. What you sent me, either or is fine.
Don't put that on me. You two have to fight for it.
Okay, you can say it on Brittany's then if you want.
You can say it, and then I'll copy Valerie, and say it next.
Okay.
So, earlier when we were all talking about the different unalivings that have happened at the school, we have all kind of heard of the ones that have been like, I was going to say thrown around, but that's a terrible way to talk about a death. But the drowning, and then the girl who unalived herself. And when I was doing research into it, I want to say it was actually me and T were looking into it, or I don't remember. But there was actually a significant event that happened at the school in 2011 of a teacher who was having some type of affair with one of the grad students at the University of Idaho, that she broke up with him and he ended up unaliving her and then unaliving himself, and it actually made a lot of the news stations and stuff. And I don't think in any way it's like related to this case or anything, but I find it interesting in the aspect that there has been a significant event that has happened for the U of I that could influence how they are handling everything now. So the aspect of having the news cover such a tragic incident, I wonder if back in 2011 it showed like how it was handled, and if that played a significant role in, whether that be admissions that year or on campus versus off campus housing, different
And
donors.
I put it on the screen just in case you wanted to look at the article at all. Just that's for the chat and Mallory or anyone. The
Yeah.
information's on the screen.
But I found it very interesting that they did have a high profile unaliving slash unaliving unalive what's and unalive slash self unalive at the school with people within the school. So I just found that interesting, not in the aspect of this case, but in the aspect of, like I said, the school knowing what a tragedy can do to it, and the fact that this is self deletion. Oh, I don't know if that sounds any better, but yes, how they're handling it now and why they're so closed off and why they already have like they got a lawyer in the first couple things, because like obviously for students that are unalived is going to be a significant thing, especially because there's no person in custody yet for them to be able to explain who did this. So versus like at least with the other one that happened in 2011, it was due to them having a relationship, her leaving and him just being like, if you I can't have you, no one can type of mindset. So at least back then, yeah, it was a tragedy, but they were able to be like, well, this is what happened, this is who did it, there's no threat to the public. So the fact that there is a threat to the public in this one, I think, is why their school is taking it so strict. And I just probably said the same things 4 times in a row. So yeah.
No, again, you always say everything so eloquently. I swear, I even wrote that in the chat. How the way that you speak is just great. You should tell us all bedtime stories.
Well, I'd be more like animated if I was doing a bedtime story.
Oh yeah. You said you do read to children, right?
I
as
was a nanny. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you're like so good at it.
Yeah, and it's crazy though, because I was definitely that person in school where I'd like count the amount of people that were ahead of me so that I could pre-read my paragraph that I was gonna have to read out loud, and I hated it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Okay. Do you, Britt? Do you, Liza? Like when you were in school and everyone in the class had to like read out loud. And,
oh my God.
But then it was like one paragraph per person. So then I would like count how many people were in front of me and figure out what paragraph was mine and read it ahead of time so I knew all the words.
Girl, me too. I did it too. I do it to myself though. Like I can read very well. Like it's reading's always been my thing, but doing it in front of people,
Yeah.
like I'll make myself nervous and I'm like, they're all listening to me. Watch, I'm gonna fumble over this sentence and I do it. I'll just start stuttering and oh my God. Proper punctuation's everything to me when it comes to reading.
Yeah. That's what happened the other day when I was trying to read something on your live. I was like, this doesn't have punctuation, so I can't even like read it. But I'm also a reader, like an actual reader. Like so far I've read 52 books this year.
Well, me too. I read a lot too. That's what I'm saying. And it's like you don't realize how much like proper punctuation really means until you see something without it. You're trying to read it out loud. You're like, oh my God.
Well, just imagine me. Okay? I'm trying to do it. I have a horrible COVID. I even forgot speaking in Spanish. And I'm trying in English. It's just terrible. And punctuation between Spanish and English is completely different. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I hope these people is really kind because I'm going to do a lot of mistakes.
I made it through like
Oh.
Spanish 4 or Spanish 5 in school, so I know quite a bit of Spanish, but I was
You
Spanish and then sign
definitely
language.
know a lot. If you got that far, wow. Most people only couldn't get to Spanish too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that, but then I also got to I'm almost fluent in sign language. But
Wow,
I just didn't keep up with it enough to stay fluent.
that's
But
cool.
in high school my ASL teacher was deaf. And so you didn't really have a choice but to like it's the same way as like when you're trying to learn a language, they say the best way to do it is immerse yourself in that culture and that language. And so
I took an ASL class too, but all I know now is just the ABCs in it. You know,
see,
that's all I remember now.
my daycare taught me the ABCs. So I feel like I've always known the ABCs from like the time I was like 5. And then when people didn't and they were just learning the ABCs, I'm like, oh, okay. And then plus sign language a lot of the time too comes in with when I was nannying because the kids were at the age where they couldn't talk. And so you're teaching them the different signs for thank you, more, please, different things like that, milk. So then you're using more of like the different things. But
Sorry, I was just reading chat.
no, you're good.
Okay, I was just seeing if everything was fine in chat.
I have it pulled up on the side of my computer.
The chat.
Yeah, you can like pop it out of your face or out of your YouTube. And then you can like literally close everything down and it pops up as its own little side panel.
Mhm.
Oh, I
And
have it like on my phone. Well, I have two screens. I have my phone and the computer, so I can. When I chat, I'm usually typing on my phone, and then I have on the computer, so it's easier for me that way.
yeah, I like doing it on the computer now because you don't have to type in people's full names. Like on my phone, you have to like type in when you're gonna at someone,
Yeah.
but then on my computer they just pop up.
Oh, well, it's easier on the computer. I didn't realize that you just have to only put a letter like of one person's name,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, I didn't realize that until recently because I've always used my phone to type people's name, but it's much easier on the computer. But okay, let me see. So the 360 tour, then we'll do another day then, because that could be like an hour and a half to go through all of that. And Liza has been helping me with that, us doing a bunch of pictures of the house. So we'll go and sorry, a window came up that didn't mean to. I don't think I'm presenting my screen, so you're not seeing that. But yeah, Liza's been helping me with that. So we'll go over the pictures and the 360 and compare them of the different rooms. And let me see. I don't know if this video is long. It's up to you if you want to see the surveillance of the white car going by the gas station. You tell me. You've seen that, Mallory, Brittany, have you seen that? Liza, have you seen that? In chat, if you've seen the video of the car going past the gas station, put a 1.
I
And
can't you just assumed
Brittany,
that I'd seen it.
what was that, Mallory?
I said I can't believe you just assumed that I had seen it.
I'm assuming you've seen everything. If it's been out for more than 5 minutes, you've seen it.
There's a reason that she's a part of my research chat on my panel.
I can see why.
Well, and I told Brittany too. And I messaged you too. I said if you guys ever need something done quickly and you don't have a chance or you just want to know information, just hit me up. Valerie, I just added you on Facebook, so feel free to message me whenever. I can give you my number. I gave Britt my number, so we'll see if Brittany calls.
Girl, I blow you up all the time.
Yeah, but through Messenger, so then it's like
At the Krista, I saw that you were timed out. I'm not sure why you were. I'm so sorry about that. That's why I was saying that I was looking in chat to see if something had happened. I didn't see that you said anything wrong, so I'm so sorry about that. Maybe
Someone-
that was an accident.
Yeah, someone is accidentally pocket reporting or pocket muting. Meaning a bunch of people keep getting in trouble or muted.
But you didn't do anything wrong, so
No,
I'm sorry.
Muted right now. It's on accident.
Who got a new phone? I'm lost.
I love how you just like comment.
Oh, it's
like,
Candace. Candace got a new phone. It was by accident.
oh, okay.
Candace accidentally. Her phone's been acting crazy, and she's getting used to it. Y'all just bear with us.
I
She
just love
accidentally
Liza
got
just brings
somebody
out
out
like
on phone.
the most like
Yeah, she's not
Liza.
doing it on purpose.
Okay, so it seems like almost everybody in chat has seen the surveillance of the car going by the gas station, and we're at 2 minutes and 40 minutes. So do you think we should just end it now? I know what time?
Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. here, so it's about 4 a.m. for all of you guys. So thank you so much. I was thinking of making what was that?
It's only 3 for me.
Oh, well then it's early for you. We can right? I was thinking like, should I make this called like Insomniac True Crime Insomniacs, like something like that of a name?
Cute.
Yeah.
Nice.
I might do that because we're all insomniacs here, I think. Unless Maurice, Australia, I think you're not maybe an insomniac. What time is it in Australia right now?
Noon there tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it?
My one of my good friends lives in Adelaide. Where in Australia are you from?
Between 18 hours ahead.
Oh, we love you, Maurice. Even though she's 18 hours ahead of us.
My
She's
God.
in the future.
Oh, Sydney. Okay. Is Sydney, does that have a different time frame than Adelaide?
I think so.
All right, then. With that, everybody, thank you so much. So you were all a part of me getting to 1,000. I'm so happy, and I appreciate all of you so much. I can't believe you were here with me when it happened. Thank you so much, Brittany, Mallory, Liza. Let me see everybody in chat. Maurice, Australia, Christy, or hopefully that's how you pronounce your name. Brian R., the Krista, Christina, Sunset Gazing, Lex Luthor, NorCal Jim. Thank you, NorCal Jim, for everything you've done in this computer, recommending it to me. I do love the computer now, and I love the mic. So I just needed to get acquainted with them and understand it, which now I do. So thank
You did a good job, too.
Thank you.
And make sure you stay on panel when you end it so I can talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Pointer Lover, thank you. Ava, thank you. Cheryl, Trippy Dead, and I love that name. Jeffrey, Mo, Red Eye Obsolete, Heather, Lex Luthor, thank you. Texas Angel, Mark Klein, Laura, Daylana, Mallory, of course. I know I already said that, but again, you got a second shout out. Kentucky.
Whoop, whoop.
Angels Lie to Keep Control. That's a cool name. Let's see. Candace. Did I get everybody? I think I might have. If I missed you, I am sorry. But a weather on the go. Beastly Bee. Oh, you said some really nice comments, so thank you. Farmhouse Belts. I don't want to miss anyone. Let's see. Sunset Gazing. I think I said you. Miss Dubia, you've always been so sweet, so thank you. Brooklyn. I think I got everyone. If I didn't get you, Jamie, Texas Chick, and I know Misfit was here earlier. I know Crash and Burn. Vern was here earlier. Crazy Crime Chick, of course. I know she was here. Thank you, Crazy Crime Chick, for all you do. Mama Bear. everybody that's been here, thank you so much. I hope you, whatever time it is, I hope you have a great night, great morning, great afternoon, and thank you. Please hit the like on the way out if you didn't. Have a good night.